Thinking is hard. And that's our intro.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is
this is ETC, which is end of thought capacity. So every time I think of the name of the podcast, I always kind of mess it up. I'm always like, end of thought process. And I'm like, wait, no, it's not ETP. So if I mess it up, you guys are welcome to call me out.
You're the one that came up with the whole thing.
Well, yeah, but I definitely still mess it up.
After we spent hours like poring over different ideas of what to call it.
So who are you? Nice to meet you. My name's Bailey. Who's this
nice
next to me?
You too. My name is Josh. I'm your husband.
Imagine if we started this and we didn't even know each other. I just like invited you over.
Some random guy you found on the street.
Some random guy.
Some random
it's
Joe.
Like, hey, you want to start a podcast? Sure.
Sure.
What day?
I
guess tomorrow.
Love it.
Tomorrow works. But yeah, we came up with a bunch of names, and this one stuck.
Yeah, I think it stuck more than what was some of the other ones I came up with.
Be Better was one of them.
Oh no, it sounds really. I still think that sounds so pretentious. Like, be better.
Well, it was.
It's cute, but because the B, because
the B. Yeah, it was basically.
B.
Yeah, our last name it starts with a B, so we wanted to have like a little bumblebee in it, but we could still do that.
Yeah,
it might kind of make no sense, but we could still work with it.
I think ETC is good, like end of thought capacity, because I mean, I like to think of it as in like it's a little bit, it's like computer related, because end of thought capacity would be like a computer running out of memory. But I'm sure you think of it in a different way.
Yeah, I think of like people running out of things to say, or like not having enough. I don't want to say not having enough brain power, but just kind of letting us talk about different topics and like let other people
whatever comes to
whatever comes to thought we just kind of talk about,
because we didn't want we didn't want to tie ourselves down to a specific topic, because we don't talk about one thing all the time, and admittedly there's not one topic that we both, I mean, there's lots of topics we both can talk about. There's not one topic that we're like both super passionate and that's all we ever talk about, because I mean, we like when stuff comes up, especially on like TikTok and stuff, like we'll pause the TikTok and be talking for 10 minutes and then go, wait, what was the TikTok about again?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we now that I think about it, how this came up was we saw a TikTok about what space smelled like or something like that. And so I posted it on Instagram.
For making the space flavored
Coke.
That started this all.
The space flavored Coke. And you actually ended up trying it, which we'll have to add the clip in here of him trying the space flavored Coke.
It's okay.
Can you describe what it tasted like?
Cotton candy jelly beans.
I mean, the initial flavor tastes like nothing. Tastes like nothing. And then after it's sit on your tongue for a while, I'm sure the corn syrup is melting through your mouth. It tastes like cotton candy.
A lot of people say it tastes like s'mores, and it tastes like really, really, really sweet, like sweeter than the regular Coke.
It is very sweet. That is very true. It is very sweet, because like Coke has Coke flavor. However, this had sugar flavor.
Coke,
I mean, like it literally tastes
flavor.
like cotton candy, which is literally just sugar, like melted sugar with like a flavoring.
But how we came up with, I guess, the podcast thing. Well, I first thought of it like 2 or 3 weeks ago when we watched that TikTok on the Coke. And then I was like, what does space smell like? What does it smell like? And so I looked it up and I was like, oh, okay, it smells like farts. Awesome.
Or burning metal.
Or burning metal. Some people that went to space say it smells like s'mores, or what is it, like charcoal and all these. It makes sense. It does check out.
I mean, admittedly,
sulfur was
like,
the
this
biggest.
Is going off on a
like
tangent, but like admittedly, the reason what space smells like is the equipment that they're surrounded by, and the oxygen that is produced by their equipment. So I mean, because
so
you
it's
can't,
not really
because like if you were to
space?
if you were to take your helmet off in space,
you would
there
die.
would be nothing to smell.
Well, you would.
You would die.
Yeah, you would die.
But before you died, you would breathe in. There would literally be nothing to breathe in.
Wait, so
and it
you're
would probably
telling
smell
me...
like blood, if anything, because your mouth, your head's like exploding, basically.
Oh, I was thinking.
That's why it might smell like metal, is because of the iron.
Space smells like space.
Yes, the space smells
space.
like imminent death.
Oh God, that's funny. Okay.
Okay,
So-
sorry to go off on that tangent.
Yeah.
You were talking about how space flavors, and then how did that
Space
end up?
flavors.
How did that end up turning into a TikTok? Or the way I remember it is you were like, "What does space smell like? We should start a podcast."
Yeah. I told him like 2 days later because we had been watching these podcasts on TikTok, and there's quite a few good ones. Like, there's some from Reddit. I don't know if I want to say the name on here, but okay, I'll say it. Am I the Asshole is a really good one. They talk about like certain situations.
They go through the I and the Hole pod or Reddit, like subreddit.
Yeah.
And they'll read out stuff and like
And
comment on
they
it.
basically made a podcast on that, and so we like that one, and then we found some that we don't like very much, and we were like, well, if these people can do it,
Yeah, these
rude,
misogynistic.
misogynist,
then we can do that too.
we can do it too.
Easy
So,
peasy.
Yeah.
Let's just run to Guitar Center right now. Let's
Let's tell them what we did. So I brought the idea up to him.
And then we were like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. When are we going to do that? Let's do that tomorrow.
Well, I brought the idea up to him that night.
Yeah.
And then we ended up going to Guitar Center that night.
You wanted to go to Best Buy, and then we called Cameron because we were like,
Cameron. Cameron's been to Guitar Center
Cameron's
multiple times.
done some more creative things than we have, I suppose.
Yeah.
So we're like, Cameron, where should we get good microphones and equipment? He's like, Guitar Center. We're like, okay.
It makes sense. It checks out.
And then I was like, we'll go look. $500 later.
$562 later, we have this guy.
I mean,
this red thing I don't even understand still. Josh sets it up, and that's basically all I know.
Yeah, pardon the mess. Maybe someday this will look nice, but this is our jerry-rigged setup.
It's our first episode, so yeah, we hope to get like a neon sign in the future. So
you're already talking with a neon person.
I've already talked to a neon person. Imagine
neon
just
person. That's what they're called.
You know what it reminds me of when you say neon person? I think of that SpongeBob episode where they're like deep down in the underneath
bioluminescence,
or what they call like the upside down version of. No, that's from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But it's the upside down where they take that bus and it takes them like deep down. Yeah. It reminds me of the neon like
bioluminescence.
Yeah, bioluminescent person. The fish. Are they bioluminescent because they're toxic? Like they're filled with like toxins and stuff?
No, not exactly.
Okay, because that would make so much sense to me as to why they are neon. Because the ocean's disgusting. By the way, my favorite word is disgusting and nasty. So you'll probably hear it a lot.
Maybe get a neon sign someday. And probably some better studio lighting.
Yeah, a neon sign. Yeah, I already talked to a lady. Man, what were the dimensions?
Like
she
32 inches?
She gave us one that was like
almost 3 feet, which would take up...
Yeah,
it would be pretty sizable, but it would take up the entire thing, and then you'd just be blinded.
Yeah, you guys would not be able to see.
You would see nothing but the light. So if anything, maybe an LED sign. Looks like neon.
Also cheaper too.
Looks like neon, but is made of LEDs.
Yeah. We do have a plug already, so whenever we do, we'll be able to hang them up.
Yeah.
But right now, we'll probably just cut out some paper, color it in.
Tape it to the wall. Call it a day.
Yeah. It'd be kind of cool is if we taped the ETC letters in episode 2 and then put the name of the episode if we already had a name for it.
True.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
It's kind of fun. But yeah, $562 later, we're here.
Yeah. It's that easy, guys.
Yeah. It's that easy.
It's that easy.
You got almost $600. You just start a podcast.
Just find $600 in your couch. Run to the Guitar Center real quick, and you're good. No, but going to Guitar Center, I was half convinced that we were just gonna look, and then we go in.
Well, he went in with me. So whenever he goes in with me, if we go anywhere like Target, and I'm sorry to cut you off, by the way.
You're good.
Whenever we go into Target or Walmart or anything, it's oh, we're just going to look. And I'm like, are we? Totally. And we don't ever just look.
We spent
I find
20 minutes at the microphone stand, going to each microphone and testing them.
Yeah. It was really fun though.
There
were good microphones and then there were
awful.
Not good microphones.
And these were kind of like a happy medium.
Yeah, these are happy medium.
They sound good, at least in my opinion, or our opinion.
No, yeah, they sound really good.
And they were affordable. So, well, I say affordable.
No, yeah, they really were.
They were far less than the $500 microphones.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So, future plans with the podcast. What do you?
We have no idea.
We
we are making up the ideas as we go. Like,
yeah.
Like
We have like a
we'll
list
be
of
like
topics.
driving to or from somewhere, and then something will come up, and we'll have to stop ourselves from talking about it too much, so that we can make it a podcast idea.
Yeah. Like we used
We're
to
like,
just
wait, stop talking. We need to write this down. Write this down.
Yep. I have a whole notes section in my phone, basically just for topics that we're gonna do in the future. And so when we start talking about them, I'm like, I'm gonna hold that thought.
Yeah.
End of thought capacity. We're basically like holding our own thoughts for ourselves. We're like ending our thought capacity to hold it for this end of
Yes.
thought capacity.
Yes. So we're making up ideas as we go, because I think our definition of this podcast is a variety podcast, which, I mean, I guess if you look at Spotify and go to the stories section, there's a couple of them that are like variety instead of, falling under sports or comedy or like, 'cause I can't call myself a comedian, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be funny moments in the podcast, but it's not gonna be like a comedy
our
podcast.
thing, I think, is just being real.
Yeah, like
there's gonna be moments where I try way too hard to be funny or try way too hard to do this or that, but it's just being real.
Yeah.
So yeah, going forward, it's kind of I mean, we'll probably take up if people give us suggestions. Probably take up suggestions or stuff that we come up on our own. We have a number of ideas already. Don't want to spoil too much, but some of them serious, some of them not so serious. Maybe we'll have like a scripted episode here or there just for like do a story time or something like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Or like we'll watch
we can a crime
watch videos or something like that.
Like Josh will read a true crime and I can just react to it. Y'all can react to it.
Just watch your face turn to horror.
Yeah. I'll say some comments too.
Maybe go over a couple of conspiracies.
Another thing is like TikToks as well. We'd like to do that. So where we'll have it up on the screen and you guys can watch with us what we're watching and react at the same time. And we could just easily go through like our own
TikTok,
our own TikTok,
TikToks.
yeah. Like TikToks or like just TikTok, the homepage, the For You page, because sometimes there's some videos on there where I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then there's some where I'm like, oh. Honestly, what's really weird about TikTok is like in the morning, the TikToks are better than they are at night. Like when I'm scrolling, I'm like, in the morning, I'm like, this is really good. Like I think Josh would like this.
I do
and then
wonder
I
if
think
their algorithm changes throughout the day, because I'd imagine like I know for YouTube, the videos that I often watch in the morning, it'll show in the morning, and then the videos I usually watch in the evening, it'll show me in the evening. So I wonder if there's that for TikTok, and they just do it very poorly for you.
yeah,
Their algorithm is off.
like the ones at night are they're not very good. Like I see myself skipping more of the videos at night than I do in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's really weird. I wonder if that's just me, which I don't think it is. But
I imagine there's some other folks that happen to.
What's funny is you have more time to watch TikToks at night. So maybe you're more picky at night because you've already seen a lot throughout the day. And so maybe in the morning, like the TikToks are just more interesting to you because that's like the first thing you see in the morning.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. They're like more, yeah, that's something to think about.
Don't think about it too much.
Yeah, don't think about it too much.
You'll run out of thought capacity.
Oh my gosh. So, what are your favorite type of podcasts, by the way?
So I haven't admittedly listened to a whole lot, and I don't think either of us have listened to a whole lot of podcasts, which is what some podcast experts would say is a horrible idea for starting your own. But I've listened to a few here and there. I know we both enjoy Tiny Meat Gang.
Yeah, that's Cody Ko and Noel Miller.
Not all of their episodes are great. Like when they start going into like
crypto.
Stocks and crypto and stuff, that can get real
that
boring.
Is not.
And I mean, I enjoy crypto and stuff, but it just gets too boring.
Yeah.
I've listened to a Dungeons and Dragons podcast for a while, and that was pretty fun. And then, I don't often watch a whole lot of podcasts because I'll put on like YouTube videos that you don't really need to watch. Like there's this guy called Wendigo or something like that.
Wendigoon.
Anyway, he does like conspiracies and stuff, and so I'll like put him on and throw the phone away and listen to him ramble about conspiracies and going into the horrible details of awful existential crises, which I'd love to get into a couple of them because some of them are pretty neat.
We also thought about like a podcast idea where like one of the topics is we're reading outlines of B-rated movies.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we were gonna do, what was it, like B-listed podcast or something like that?
That was our second option for the name. So we'll go ahead and like name drop. So it was either Be Better. or it was B-listed. And B-listed was one of our top names, but we ended up thinking like, I don't really know what we would do with that in the long run.
I mean, we're not super huge fans of movies either.
Yeah,
so I mean, we can't
not.
like go through movies all the time.
And that wasn't what we wanted to do. We weren't really looking to do just one genre.
Oh yeah, one type. Yeah, no. Wanted to be able to do stuff that we were interested in.
Some of my favorite podcasts, Tiny Meat Gang. Sorry. Tiny Meat Game with Cody Ko and Noel Miller. And then another one I really like is Sibling Rivalry. And that's with, if you guys watch RuPaul's Drag Race, that is with Monet Exchange and Bob the Drag Queen. And they're really funny too. So I really like them.
Those are great too. I just don't listen to them myself.
Oh my gosh. And then what's the other one? Well, they're not really a podcast, but it's Katya.
Yeah, they do videos.
Katya and Trixie Mattel.
Oh yeah, those are
They are
They're funny.
So funny. I don't know if they have a podcast, but if they do.
I think they do.
They do?
I think their YouTube series is also their podcast series, kind of like how we're kind of going to do it, where it's going to be like, I'll edit both of them at the same time.
And then you can also listen.
Yeah, you can just listen
okay.
because, yeah.
Okay, yeah, they're awesome. I don't remember what their YouTube name is, but
I don't remember.
Yeah, but they're really funny.
Yeah.
They always make me laugh.
So a couple of I just found our names. So a couple of them was the B-listed podcast, which is, we're like B movies, not A quality, not A movie quality, B movie quality. And then there was We Don't Need Permission, which that was okay.
That one was okay, but unfortunately it was taken.
Yeah, I'm sure that it was taken.
Yeah.
That was another hard thing to do, is like find a name
that was not
was clever.
Yeah.
But not so clever that it was already taken.
Yeah. There was a lot of names where I was like, this would be such a cool podcast name, and then I look it up and I'm like, oh, there's like 5 podcast names.
There's 30 people named 2 Peas in a Pod.
I know. That was my favorite one.
2 Peas in a Pod. There's like millions
2 Peas in a Pod
podcasts that do that. Admittedly, not all of them are still running. But, R.I.P. But I mean, like, I wouldn't want a name that, like, if someone searched you up, you wouldn't find them instantly. You'd find, 7 other people that have
20 peas in a pod.
20 peas in a pod. It's a big P.
Find us. That's a big P. That's a big pod.
That's a big pod.
Yeah. So we didn't want to do that.
No.
But it was a cute name.
It was cute. It's cute. That's the reason it's so taken, is because it's cute.
Oh, yeah. Binge Chatter. That was the first one we came up with.
Yeah, Chatter Binge Chatter. Because, I mean, they're
we were just spitballing.
Chatting.
Like, we were literally laying in bed one day.
Spitball paper of spit full of spitballs.
Yeah.
Still sopping wet.
Anyway, mark my words.
I'm sorry I said that.
Mark my words was another one. And
we got It's All the Buzz.
Yeah, It's All the Buzz. Oh, that was a great one.
That one was a good one for a bit.
Yeah.
I don't think that one was taken, but the name just didn't stick.
Yeah. That sounds
it doesn't
more like
sound
a news.
iconic. Yeah, it doesn't sound iconic.
It sounds more like you're telling us news.
Yeah, it sounds like the news too, because you like, when we were coming up with these names, we didn't want something that would like stay in one genre, like B-listed podcast, B-listed movies.
Yep.
The Rain or Shine podcast.
There's one that was already called like When It Rains It Shines or something like that.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, that's really cute. Like, it makes ours kind of sound like Rain or Shine podcast. And I don't really know, that gives me kind of like a negative vibe, rain or shine. Like, I just think of it as like,
right.
Oh, good or bad, So I was not really feeling that one.
Yeah. And then we got, mark my words, Salty and Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Who's the salty one?
I'm the salty one, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I could be salty too.
You're very sweet.
It's super salty. The super salty podcast.
Super salty podcast. Just angry, furious.
That's kind of funny. That's funny. That's like a funny name.
There was Run, Don't Walk, which I think that was taken.
That was definitely taken. Well, no, actually, you know what? It wasn't taken. It was just kind of like, it
silly.
Made it. Yeah, it was silly. It was a little hype too.
Yeah, we didn't want a name that was like too try-hardy.
Yeah, we didn't want a name that was too try-hardy.
End of Thought Capacity is just a little try-hardy.
We also didn't.
But I mean, I think it's pretty real. Like ETC sounds cool because like when you do. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. Like whenever you have like eggs, flour, milk, etc. ETC. We're like, oh well. I mean, we're talking about everything else. Mm-hmm. So, I think that works. It works in multiple facets.
And we also didn't want y'all's standards to be really high. If we say run, don't walk, we're not. I mean, I hate to like put us like at the bottom, and we're not at the bottom.
We're being real.
Yeah,
like,
we're being real. Like you don't need to run.
We're two average Joe, an average Joe and an average Jane, just chilling, talking about crap we want to talk about, and hopefully,
hopefully
some
it interests people.
Yeah, hopefully it's not super boring, and hopefully we, you feel like you're included.
Yeah.
We're just talking, and I plan on interacting with, if we ever get any sort of
exposure
audience.
Oh,
I plan on interacting with the audience.
Yeah.
Being, bringing up comments or
and that's
answering
another thing.
questions and stuff like that.
We, with all the like the social media channels we have, I'll most likely be the one.
Oh yeah, you're our social media manager.
I'll most likely be the one interacting with everyone who's like commenting and liking and things like that, following. Yeah, it's really fun. So Josh will be very much the editor, and
unless Cameron gets good at it. I'm gonna edit this first one, but then we'll have to see how Cameron does.
So first thing is first. So nobody knows who Cameron is.
That's the point. We just make him very ominous.
We just name drop people.
Yeah.
Cameron,
so who's that?
Cameron is my brother, and so he is going into film school. He's looking into. Do you remember the name of it?
Full Sail.
Full Sail. Yeah, thank you. He's going to Full Sail, and so when it comes to like video editing and music editing and what else editing, audio editing.
They do lots of stuff at Full Sail. It's all very creative, like technical stuff. So like they do game development too, I think.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so they do all kinds of like creative yet technology related stuff.
So my job for this podcast is social media managing, and then Josh and Cameron's job is editing and coming up with technical things
like being able to show TikToks through my computer and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, I'll come up with like all the ideas and I'll be like, nah, we doing this, and they're gonna be like, all right, let me just move it to the computer. Yeah, we're pretty open to
ideas,
each other's topics. I think names, we were both like,
yeah, names is tricky. Names, and then the intro, which the intro is I guess still a work in progress, but I am dead set on thinking is hard and then coming up with something clever to say after that.
Yeah.
Because I think the thinking is hard like can come off as sort of pretentious, sort of. I don't know, because it's like it's not to be taken literally. Nothing we ever say is to be taken literally.
Turn your brain off and listen
just
to
like
us.
chill. Like
it's
thinking
chill.
is hard. Like
Relax.
life is, there's a lot of stuff going on. So just another another name was another voice in the crowd, which
we're two voices in one crowd, so
yeah, and that one I think is a little too on the nose.
Yeah, it's a little too on the nose, a little too like
meh. It doesn't catch your attention. I hate to say it, but it's not very clever.
Well, another thing that I learned in school is like if you're having like a headline or like a name of something, it should be short.
Yeah.
To catch people's eye. So another voice in the crowd is pretty long.
ETC is short. Like you're coming up with ETC is short, and then if you want the explanation of it, it's end of thought capacity, which is the long one.
And ETC is like etc.
Yeah.
That's basically why we did it, because it's just kind of like a talking whatever type podcast. It's really clever. We actually we killed that.
You did that. I just was like, that's a great idea. What brought you to ETC?
Me?
Yeah, like what made you think of end of thought capacity? Oh, you were like looking up.
I was looking up like
copy AI or something like that.
Yeah, I use copy AI in my internship right now, and so I was just kind of like, well, let me try and see if I can type up like caption of some sort to find a name, because copy AI is just basically helping you write like
sort of like
blog ideas. Yeah, like ideas. And so I just typed a few words like two people randomly talking into a mic type thing, and it came up with etc., and I was like, etc., because it said a few sentences, and then it was like etc., or and more. And so I just was like, okay, so what does etc. stand for? Because actually I never knew what etc. stood for. I just knew it was I forgot. So I looked it up on Reddit, and there was someone saying like end of thought something.
Yeah, someone thought it was
another
end of thought capacity or Hold on.
Someone made it up. Someone made up a word for for etc.
I'm about to look it up.
And so I've always wondered. It's just ET.
According to
etc.
What is that word, Nick? It is an abbreviation of etc. and the rest and so forth. So, but yeah, I think someone else came up with end of thought capacity, and then we stole it.
Well,
but the definition meaning is
they put it on
and
Reddit.
the rest and so forth.
Yeah, they put it on Reddit, and I was like, well, if no one's using that, and I just found
no one using it, at least ETC.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't say I made up the name. I more so just found it.
Yeah.
And no one had it. So I was like, well, if someone made these words up and put them in, one sentence, they didn't use it, we could use it.
Yeah.
Put it to some use.
And now we have all sorts of stuff named ETC and stuff. I think that we were the only RSS.com podcast to do ETC. So it's literally rss.com/podcasts/ETC.
Yep.
Which is stupid easy to type into a thing.
Yep.
That'll make it easy to hopefully be found. Or at least, hey, go to, rss.com/podcast/ETC. And there you go. Instead of 2 peas in a pod 47.
Yep. 2 peas in a pod 47. Podcast number 47, 2 peas in a pod.
Right.
All right. So we never really talked about what we do for a living. What do you do for a living?
So I am a desktop, if I get when I get promoted, I'll be an IT specialist. I work with some of the higher up doing their IT. So basically they'll call up saying, I can't access my email. And then I go, turn it on. And then it's fixed. Or actually what happens a lot of the time, surprisingly, is, hey, this isn't working. And then they call us and then it starts working. So, but I mean, I can't blame them. They're kind of some older folks that don't have technical experience.
Yep. That's why you're there.
Yeah, that's why I'm there, to answer their silly questions.
Mm-hmm.
Even though sometimes they piss us off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm not very good at technology type stuff. So
it really comes down to patience, honestly. You got to have patience with your technology.
I don't have any.
I know, my sweet.
So
I mean, to these days, you expect technology to just work because it should.
Do what you ask it to.
Technology should just work.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
there's I could go into a whole facet of how it's a miracle that everything works, that everything just works the way it does and doesn't instantly break every single time we try and use it. But anyway, what do you do?
So I do currently I'm an after school director. And so I basically am just there for the coaches and there for the students and also the parents. So I get to talk to basically all three groups, which is kind of cool. I get to know their side, but mainly I do talk to the parents and I do events and their social media and stuff like that. And come summer, I'll just be doing their marketing. So
which is very exciting.
Yes, which is very exciting because I knew from the get-go that directing wasn't necessarily for me. I knew that I could do the job and I could do the job well, but I knew that it wasn't my long-term goal to just direct. I would like to be a director of social media or copywriting maybe one day, but for this job, it was more working with kids and early childhood education type stuff. And I knew that wasn't my again, long-term goal. So
because you got your bachelor's in
I got my bachelor's in advertising and public relations from the University of South Florida. And I do a lot of their marketing stuff at my job right now. And then I'm currently in an internship that is looking to hire me full time come summer. So I'm in the midst of 2 jobs right now where I'm doing both what I love. And so, it's really fun. It's a lot of fun. I get to do it basically every day, all day, every day. I do my internship basically from 8 to 12, and then I go to my full-time job from 12 to 7. So, it's fun.
And now you're going to be the social media manager for a podcast.
Yeah, so I actually have 3 jobs.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You just signed yourself up for a 3rd job.
I'm volunteering for this one. It's a lot of fun. Obviously every job has, it's stressful times.
It's perks and quirks.
Yeah, it's perks and quirks. So it's a learning process, but overall it's really fun.
Maybe one day we can have an episode about the more specific details of what you do.
Yeah.
Your process as a marketing manager.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
What applications, because I'd imagine someone would be interested in that, how to manage your social media, if you're a small business or big business or another podcast or a YouTuber or anything like that, and how the best practices in managing your social media thing.
It all comes down to also marketing for yourself, what I've realized.
I mean, it can be if you're gonna be a influencer, it can be important.
You have to market yourself before you market other people.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to trust you with their stuff if you're not marketing yourself all the time as well.
So you're using this as a way to get hired somewhere, huh?
No.
Is that what this is all about? You try to look
well,
good?
yes.
I mean, it would
no.
help.
No, yeah, it would
definitely help.
It's good to put on a resume, but it's also on my own platforms, like my own Instagram, my own TikTok, things like that. You definitely want to be shown as
a responsible marketing manager.
Yeah.
Responsible with your own accounts.
Yep.
We haven't even brought up Lucy. Sweet Lucy.
Oh, we also have a cat. Wow, we are so all over. You know, what's really funny is like we don't really have we have an outline of how we're going to do the podcast episodes, but we also, well, I'm ADD. I don't know what you are. So I could talk about multiple things at multiple times, and then I'll just like go off on a tangent about one thing or another. So it won't ever really be put together. So
okay.
Yeah, this episode is basically just getting to know us and like our interests and your interests. So we have a cat named Lucy, and she is 11 or 12.
She's an old lady.
She's an old lady, and she's a Persian.
An old Southern belle.
She's a Persian white cat.
Mm-hmm.
She's gray too.
She's getting gray. She's no longer just white.
But she's our best bud, best companion, sweetest kitty in the whole damn city.
Cutest cat.
We made a
we
theme song.
You have a theme song for it. Maybe someday you'll get the whole thing.
Yeah, maybe we'll probably bring her in and just start singing it. But I think we have 2 songs for her.
Oh, it's one song that like has multiple
extended.
Verses.
It's an extended version.
You have the chorus, and then you have each, the verses or whatever.
Yeah, she's really sweet. She's getting so old though.
She is. She's getting old and cranky.
She's like climbing up on the bed with her claws.
Oh my
she doesn't even jump anymore.
Yeah, well, she's gotten better at jumping. Like when she had claws before she got them trimmed, she would climb up, but now she's started jumping. I mean, she has a rough time with it, but I mean, she jumps up on her chair outside
and she grunts.
And she does.
She's so cute.
She grunts like an old lady.
She's like, "What?" It's so funny.
Mm-hmm. And she yowls all the time to get our attention.
We recently took her to the vet to get her vaccines and stuff.
And
so
she didn't like that.
Yeah, but you were there.
Yeah, I held her down, and she was okay. She didn't hiss much. She didn't try and swat at us. She was just like, "Get me out of here right now."
And she used to never be like that. What's funny is like she's
getting old and crazy.
Yeah, she doesn't want to leave. Like she doesn't want to leave where she's comfortable.
This is a comfortable, safe place that she knows.
And so we brought her to go get a trim, like her what we
bi-yearly.
What
trim.
we now know is her last trim.
Yeah, that was her last one.
She didn't even get it. We actually found we were in Target. Mm-hmm. And we got a call, and we both missed the call. Actually, we both
missed the call because I just turned my phone on vibrate, and then you never have your phone on.
I never have my phone on
Ringer
anything because I have my phone on Ringer at work.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, click when it comes to being off.
They called both of us.
Yeah.
And we both missed it. So I'm sure they were also a little freaking out.
Yeah. Like, you remember when I was telling...
I can only imagine how many times that's happened to them. We're like...
That's what I'm saying.
They've tried to call
Remember when someone... I was telling you that? I was literally telling... It was like I read my own mind. I was telling him that...
So I read my own mind. You would not guess what I was thinking.
I was telling him that... imagine like how many people call... the owners and they don't answer,
and the owners don't pick up, and the owners show up like 3 hours later,
or they don't show up at all. Like they just leave their dog or pet.
Gosh, that's gotta be so
that's what I'm saying. Like that's what was hurting my heart so bad when I found out that we both missed the call. I was like, oh my god, I bet they think that we just like left Lucy there forever.
She's your problem now.
Yeah, like she's your problem now. But we got a call, and the vet basically said that she's being really aggressive and. She basically said that she didn't kick us out or anything. She did do
they were very nice.
She did the trim, the nail trim, and she
did not like. She didn't want it anymore.
The lady told us that she probably should go to the vet and be put to sleep for the.
Yeah. Okay. I'm so glad. Like, I was worried the conversation, the sentence would stop at, "She needs to be put to sleep," and it was like, oh.
Like, what do you mean?
To get a trim. Oh, okay.
Yeah. She needs to be put to sleep.
So the vet would have to
we're just gonna skip that.
Induce unconsciousness in order for her to get a proper trim. And I mean, she's not mad at her or anything. Now, if she ever does get there, which we're not gonna allow because we're gonna brush her and stuff, then we would. But she's okay.
Yeah.
We would take her there to
get like a spring trim.
And if it's gonna be summer, it's gonna be hot. She's covered in fur. I mean, she stays in the house most of the time, but when she goes out, I'm sure she wants to be comfortable in the morning when she's sitting out in the sun.
And when we say go out, we mean like we have a closed-in porch.
Yeah, a little patio.
and we let her go and sit on like the
Mosquito
porch. Yeah, it's got mosquito netting, so nothing gets into her and she can't get out. She just likes to be outside.
Yeah.
Like that's her outside time. So
Yeah, and then she's a cat, so she gives herself a bath, and so her bad breath
yeah, she
gets
just
all in her fur.
she like
and
remember
so
we
she
were
doesn't
putting her.
stink, but she smells like if you were to like snuggle with her, you'd go.
No, you know what? She doesn't smell like anything. It's when she opens her mouth.
Her bad breath.
Her bad breath. And we have these little like treats, but they
she's
are not mint flavored. They're just like brush teeth.
She's not
treats.
a treat cat though.
No,
She doesn't like. I mean,
She
she'll
likes
eat
soft
treats,
food.
but like not very often.
She has gingivitis too.
Yeah.
Our poor cat.
Oh, poor thing.
But she's
oh
so.
my god! If we, one of these days, we'll get the mic on her, and and they'll be like, "Oh my god, what are you doing to this cat? She's dying."
Should we talk about what she has?
Well, I mean, so I'll get all technical here. I've done my research. I'll have you know. So a lot of cats have a form of herpes, and it's not too different from human herpes. I mean, humans can't get it, but it stays dormant. Like in most humans, herpes will stay dormant at least for a certain amount of time, if not their entire life. But cats are often born with herpes from their mothers because it spreads like the herpes virus does, like through water or through shared food. But for most cats that have it, it stays completely dormant for their entire lives, maybe until the very end when their immune system is all screwed up, and just adds to the thing. But Lucy has experienced her herpes for a good chunk of her life, if not most of it.
Yeah.
And in terms of Lucy, because she's a Persian, her face is a little smushed, so she's already susceptible to
So
nasal infections. So the herpes plus her facial structure and susceptibility to nasal infections means that she sounds like Darth Vader 24/7.
Yeah.
And she sneezes and
Yeah.
she'll cough, but we keep an eye. Like if she has a sneezing fit, which
She did
it's
2
pretty
nights
rare.
ago.
Like
Yeah.
it's usually maybe once every 2 months. She'll
Yeah.
have, at least that we see. She might have some when we're away,
Yeah, we have. Yep.
but
Yep.
once every 2 months or so, we'll see. She has a sneezing fit where she'll like sneeze
Multiple times.
like 10 or 12
Poor
times. So we just
thing.
keep an eye on her, make sure she's able to stop
She's
and breathe.
so cute because like
Poor
she'll
thing.
like her feet will lift off the ground.
I know, yeah.
It's so cute.
It's so sad and
but
adorable.
it's so sad. Yeah.
But yeah, we're keeping an eye on her. I mean, for what she's going through, she's a tough
Cookie.
cat. She's a
Tough
tough cookie.
cookie.
And now cats are known for their ability to hide their pain. But I mean,
Yeah.
she seems like a pretty happy cat.
She's very happy.
I mean,
Yeah.
she'll,
Just whenever we take her out of the house, she's.
there you go. She's like, oh,
not
where am I
happy.
going?
We have a cat backpack, and
Can't do that anymore.
we can't do that anymore. And
Can't do-
actually,
I
when
would
we
not
first,
want, I mean, we could, but I
we
wouldn't
first
want
got
to do that
it-
to her anymore.
like when we first got the cat backpack, she didn't like it either, but
No.
she didn't fight it. Now she hisses. Like
Yeah, she
she's
would.
not happy. And we took her, I think the last time we took her in the cat backpack was when we were doing graduation photos.
Oh, she was not a happy
And
cat.
we took her out and she was on a leash, which again, a cat on a leash, like you don't see that often. And especially with her, she was not having
She was
it.
not having
And there
it.
was
She
no
wasn't-
food, no water.
Yeah, she wasn't scratching
It
or
was
anything, but it was a
hot.
hot day.
It was 90
she was on a
degrees.
leash. She was not a very happy kitty.
I think it was 90 degrees
So, I
October,
ended up
early
taking her
October.
into the car to get her on some air conditioning.
Yeah.
So
So
but she's a tough kitty.
she was
We're
not.
keeping an eye on her, making sure she's happy,
Yeah.
happy, healthy. That's all we want is a happy, healthy Lucy.
Happy, healthy Lucy only.
Yes.
So.
Anyway, now that we've gone on a 10-minute tangent about our cat, and she deserves every minute of it.
Yep. That's pretty much the end of our first episode. We hope you enjoyed it, and you can
Yeah.
actually listen to it on
Spotify. I think we got Apple Music.
Google Podcasts.
I think Google Podcasts.
And it's actually Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said Google or Apple Music.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's
Apple
so funny.
Podcasts.
Yeah.
And then we have a website. It's currently in the works, and it's hosted by RSS, which I still need to look into how to use. But rss.com/podcasts/etc. But
Thank you
yeah,
for listening.
Thank you for listening and or watching.
Yeah, and or
We hope
watching.
We
Whoa.
hope you enjoyed. Our second episode will be, I can't say more structured, but it'll have more of a focus than just talking about the meta podcasting, is what we're doing now. But yeah, I think this will be good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time
We'll see you next
on
time on ETC.
ETC. Bye.